Welcome to this video. In this video, I will be trying to explain the basic concept of normal distribution of data. Normal distribution is one of the most commonly used data distribution in data science or statistics. Before we start the discussion about the normal distribution, let us take an example of measuring the heights of a number of students in any class. When you measure the height of students, then you may notice few important things from the data which you obtained by measuring the height. The first one is that there are very less number of students whose height is towards the minimum height of the student in that class, and likewise there will be a very less number of students whose height will be near to the maximum height of the student in that class. And the third thing you would notice there is that a large number of the students are having the height near to the average height of the student. So if you have this type of the data there, or this type of the things or measures are present in the data, then we say that distribution of the data is normal distribution. Beside this, the another two important things about the normal distribution are that is it is unimodal, means if we plot the graph of the distribution, then we will be having a single peak there. And the another thing is that it is symmetrical in the nature. By the symmetrical, we mean that the graph will be divided into two parts by this mean of the values, and those two parts will be the mirror images of each another. So it will be asymmetrical in the nature. When we see the data in the normal distribution, then we can estimate a lot of things from there. And to estimate that, or to estimate anything from the data, then we must know one important thing about the data, that is its distance from the mean or the average value. And in statistics, that thing is known as standard deviation. So if we want to use the data normal normal distribution, then the concept of standard deviation should be very much clear to you. So the standard deviation is basically the measure of how spread out a normal distributed of the data is, and it statistically tell us that how closely all of the values are gathered around the mean of the data set. The shape of the normal distribution is determined by the mean and the standard deviation. If the standard deviation is smaller one, then the shape of this curve is going to be steeper one. If the standard deviation is larger one, then the shape will be the flatter one, or the bell will be going to flatter in the nature. You know how to calculate the standard deviation. It is represented by sigma, and to find out the standard deviation of the distribution, then we need to consider each and every item present there, that is represented by here xi, and we know the mu, that is the mean of the overall population, and then we take the difference of every value from this mean, and then we take the square of that difference, and all such squared values are summed together to find out sum of all such values, and that sum is then divided by this n, that is the population size, and then final value is square root, and that will be giving us the value of sigma. So if we know the value of the sigma or the standard deviation, then we can estimate the different things from the normal distribution graph. Let us see some sample curves that can be generated by the different combinations of standard deviation and the mean. In this example, we can see the three graphs are there, represented by the three different colors. If we see this blue one, that is an example of the normal distribution whose mean is 0 and standard deviation is 1. But when we see this another graph that is represented by this green color, it is representing a normal distribution again with mean is equal to -2 and standard deviation is equal to 2. Now you can see that if we compare these two graphs, it is the graph represented by this green color is flatter as compared to this blue one. Likewise, when we go to this red graph, that is actually again a normal distribution graph, but it is representing a population where the standard deviation is 0.5 and mean is 2. Now since the standard deviation is 0.5, means we are almost near to the mean all the time, or the deviation from the mean is very less. Okay, so then we will be getting this type of the steeper graph. So based upon the mean and the standard deviation, we can get the different shapes of this bell type of the graph. Okay, of course all the graphs are symmetrical in nature, but this sharpness of the bell is determined by this standard deviation. Now how we can estimate the different things from this normal distribution? When we say that there is a normal distribution, then you know that it will be a symmetrical graph, and it will be divided into two halves by this mean, that is represented by this x bar. And also if we know the standard deviations or the values of the standard deviation, then as per the property of the normal distribution, if we move to one deviation from mean towards the increasing side of the values, then we say that we have moved one positive standard deviation. If we move two standard deviation, then it means we have moved to two standard deviation to the increasing side. Similarly, when we move towards the decreasing side or the values to the side where the values are less than mean, then we say that we have moved minus one standard deviation, and similarly it is the -2 standard deviation movement. If the graph is obeying this normal distribution, then based upon what is the distance from mean, then we can estimate the area under this curve by simply these standard rules. As per the rule, if we move one standard deviation from the mean, then the total area covered by this portion of the graph will be 34% of the entire graph. That is, if we consider this entire curve to be covering 100% of the area, then one standard deviation, that is from mean to the either side, be it a positive side or be it a negative one, then we will be covering 34% of the total area. Or we can say that if we consider both the sides together, then one positive standard deviation and one negative standard deviation collectively will be covering 68% of the area under this curve. Further, if we move one more step, that is the one standard deviation further, then it will be covering this 13.5% of the area in both the directions. Like if we move from this +1 to +2 deviation, then there will be an increment of this 13.5% of the area. Similarly, in the another direction, there will be the same area, and then this area keep on decreasing, and this curve actually tends to the infinity in both the sides. So if we know that what is the standard deviation and what is the mean, then we can estimate the area under the curve for any given normal distribution, and that can tell us a lot of things. Let us see some examples and see how these things will be helping us. Suppose there is a normally distributed data, and we know that the mean of the data is 5, and a simple question is that what percentage of the data is less than 5. Now it is a quite easy question, and you can estimate it just analyzing this graph. Since it is given to you that mean of the distribution is 5 and also the distribution is normal one, and you know that when the distribution is following the rule of the normal distribution, then the mean will be dividing the graph into two symmetrical halves. So if we say that mean is 5, then it means it is dividing the entire data into two parts, that is 50% in this side and 50% in this side. Then it is obvious that all the values that are on the left hand side of this mean are less than this 5. So you can say that the 50% of the data will be having the values less than 5, and similarly there will be 50% of the values that will be greater than 5. Okay, then see the next example. In this example, we have a data of fully charged cells or the batteries, and that are again the life of these fully charged batteries are following the rule of normal distribution, and here the mean of this life of a fully charged cell is given as 14 hours, and a standard deviation is of 1 hour. The question is that what is the probability that a battery will be having at least 13 hours of the life. Now see, again we are given this mean of the life of the fully charged cells, and also the standard deviation is there. Now to estimate this, that what is the probability that a cell will be lasting for at least 13 hours, we need to draw this graph again. Now since the mean is 14 and standard deviation is 1, so we'll draw the graph like this. It means all the cells that will be on this side will be having the lives less than or equal to 14 hours, whereas all the cells that will be on this side will be having the lives greater than or equal to this 14 hours. So when we take the standard deviation of 1 on the left side, we get this point, that is x equal to 13, means the life of the cell is equal to 13. So if we consider this point, all the cells before that will be definitely having the life less than 13. Since we are interested only in the cells whose life will be greater than 13, so our area to be considered, or the area under the curve that will be under this curve, will be the solution to our problem. So we need to calculate the area under this curve, because all these batteries whose falling under this curve are having the life greater than 13 hours. So we need to estimate this area. Now we know that since we are one standard deviation to the left of the mean, and that is equivalent to 34% of this total area, and then all the components that are on the right side of this mean will be the eligible component for our solution or are to be considered, then the sum of all these things will be the solution. So it is very easy. You can see that this is a 34%, and you know, since this mean is dividing this curve into the symmetrical parts, so all the components that are present on the right side will be considered, and only this component from the left hand side is to be considered, since we are interested in x greater than 13. So all these values are to be considered. Now you will analyze it. It is just this 34 plus the 50% of the entire data. So it is easy that we can take the sum of these two values, that is 34 and the 50%, and the result is 84%. Means there are 84% chance probability that a battery will be lasting greater than 13 hours of the life. So that was another example. Then in one more example, let us consider that we have a set of raspberries, and whose average weight is this 4.4 grams, and the standard deviation is this 1.3 grams. Now the question is that what is the probability that a randomly selected raspberry would be weighing at least 3 grams but not more than 7 grams. Now see, again we are given this average weight, that is 4.4 grams, and the deviation of 1.3 grams, and then we need to estimate the probability that when we pick a raspberry at random, then what is the probability that it will be weighing from 3.1 grams to 7 grams. Again, let's draw the graph and see how we can estimate that. So now mean is 4.4 and the standard deviation is 1.3. When we move one standard deviation to the left, that is we subtract 1.3 from 4.4, then we get this value, that is 3.1. So that is actually our starting point of the range. So we are interested in all raspberries whose weight is at least 3.1 grams. So we are interested in this curve from the left side. And what about the right side? When we add 2 standard deviation to the right, then we'll be getting this x is equal to 7. When we'll be adding 4.4 plus 1.3, then we'll be getting this standard deviation. Then again if we add 1.3 there, then we'll be getting this point. So when we get this x is equal to 7, it means we are interested in this area only, that is starting from this x is equal to 3.1 up to this x is equal to 7. Now we need to estimate what this area is. So you know that since we are moving one standard deviation to the left, it is 34%. To the left, we are moving one standard deviation to the right up to this point, so it is 34%. And then this again we are moving one more standard deviation to the right, that is again 13.5%. So we need to take the sum of all these values, that is this one 34 plus then 13.5, and that will be equivalent to this 81.5%. So that is the actually probability that when we will be picking any raspberry from this set, and the weight will be in this range, that is from 3.1 to 7 grams. So in this way you can apply this concept to find out the probability or the chances of any random selection from the given set. Okay, so I hope you understood the basic concept of normal distribution and how we can apply this concept to determine the different things. If you like the video, then please click on like and subscribe the channel. Thank you.